In today's episode of Wrestlethoughts, we'll be talking about what happened in AEW Dynamite this week, where we had Tony Khan being attacked by the Young Bucks, Okada, and Jack Perry. We also talk about Swerve Strickland's first match after winning the AEW Championship, Mercedes Mone returns, and much more. Hit that intro. All right, and we're back with Wrestlethoughts. As always, I'm Javi, and today we're going to talk about what happened in AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. We had a few things that were very interesting that happened in today's show. First and foremost, congratulations to Swerve Strickland on winning the AEW Championship. He's done an amazing job into making himself into a guy, into putting that extra effort and getting himself to that next level. Because we know in AEW, it's almost like a DIY thing where you have to get yourself over, all the creatives on you. So, I really admire what Swerve has done. And honestly, I think it was a really big missed opportunity in WWE's part. I have no idea why the heck they let him go. And they kept the rest of Hit Row. It doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, whatever. Decisions are decisions, and guess what? Now at least he had a time to shine. Will he go to WWE at some point? Maybe, but at least he's thriving right now. I got to give him some credit. Also, Samoa Joe, hey man, awesome job in keeping that championship relevant and make it into a credible championship. And being able to keep that momentum that MJF had, he was a very different champion. Samoa Joe's more of a tough guy. And he made it work. Like, he made it into a championship that people were trying to go after. He is a very credible champion, and it was a really credible opponent for Swerve, and a meaningful one at that. So I really enjoyed that match on Sunday. Also, the other match that everybody in the world is talking about is the match between Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. Honestly, to me, it was a masterclass in what pro wrestling should be. Especially from the part of Bryan. Bryan, as we all know, he is amazing in the ring. His in-ring psychology is top notch. His moves are great, but they mean something. I really enjoy his work. I've always been at least I would say I've been a fan of Daniel Bryan, at least for the last 10, 12 years. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, from when he was in the indies, when he was in the beginning of his WWE career, because guess what? I didn't like him that much. But then I was like, you know what? This guy has something. And then I started respecting his work and, been one of my favorite wrestlers ever since. Then Will Ospreay. Honestly, I can't say that I'm a super huge fan of his style, which is more the athletic, flippy style. It is, I can enjoy it in a vacuum. Like, it's cool and a one-time thing. I don't think there's a lot of storytelling there. There's in the ring or even as a whole in terms of a feud. But I do think that having somebody like Bryan Danielson there that could kind of carry that match, make it work, slow him down. I think it worked beautifully. Honestly, the match was full of counters. I don't think I've ever seen so many counters in a match. And they were just insane counters. He had Daniel going for submission moves as always. Then you had Will Ospreay kind of do a flip where he does that move where he jumps and kind of hits the guy's chest and falls on his feet. Everything was just really, really good. And to be brutally honest with you, I think it was better than Will Ospreay did not go to WWE, because if not, he was going to be stuck in NXT. Now at least he gets a chance to have the line shine, the light shine on him. Even though he has been in Japan before, he's gone to Wrestle Kingdom and everything. But over here in the States, it's a little different. Here's where you really come to become a huge star. And I think once he goes to AEW and spends a few years there, I mean, the next step would obviously be WWE. But like I said, man, honestly, that match was extremely enjoyable. A lot of people have said, oh, even Dave Meltzer's like, oh yeah, that's the greatest match in North American soil. I wouldn't go that far, because you can't just say about the athleticism in the match or how good the match was. You also have to put into perspective, how did we get there? What the story behind it was, how they were building, what the storytelling was in the ring, not just about a dream match, because this was a dream match and it was fun. but what's the real story behind it? There's not really any animosity. There's nothing that we're trying to accomplish here. It's just a matter of you want two of the best wrestlers in the world to face each other, and it's going to be fun. But then again, there's no real story. And that's where I think I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best match ever. In ring, I mean, is it one of the greatest? Possibly, at least for the year. I would say in ring is possibly the best match I've seen. In terms of storytelling, I would still have to give it to Mania. I mean, it was there was when we had Cody defeat Roman, regardless that I did not like that, but we had Cody finally finishing his story. So there was a 2-year long story going on, and it ended in that WrestleMania moment, where the whole Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay thing, it was more of a one and done thing. And like I said, I enjoyed it. Then again, is it going to lead to anything in the future? I don't know, and I doubt it, especially now that Bryan supposedly is going to go part-time, I think starting this September, which I'm glad he is, because if there's one thing that I can't stand watching a Bryan Danielson match, is that now, like, he's had so many injuries. Even my wife was worried after he took that 91 drive or whatever it is from Will Ospreay, and he started twitching. I'm like, oh God, like that looked really bad. And you almost don't know if it is a work or is a shoot, and it's fine. I mean, it's okay. I want to suspend my disbelief, but with Bryan, it's a different thing because he's been injured so many times, and with that type of injury, shoulder, neck, head, all of these injuries that you're like, oh God, it could be real. It could be real. It could be real because we've seen it so many times before. But honestly, and hopefully that was a complete sell job. And he did an absolutely great job doing that because I believed it, at least at that moment. But anyways, the other thing is congratulations to Trick Williams on winning the NXT Championship. Awesome job. Proud of you, bro. Seriously, hard work pays off. And we'll soon see you in the main roster doing amazing things. All right, so first and foremost, we had Jack Perry and the Young Bucks. The Elite with Okada. They arrive at Daly's place, and honestly, Jack Perry with that face, it's almost like that emoji which just has like a little line. You don't know if he's happy, sad, or whatever. Very expressionless. I'm not a fan of his at all. So then the end, they make it to the arena, blah blah blah, and I'm actually going to skip forward a little bit because they ended up going into Tony Khan's office and to talk to Tony Khan. Whatever. All right, then we had Orange Cassidy. He was supposed to come out to the ring and cut a promo or talk about Trent Beretta. Then he comes out like he's all beat up, and then Trent comes out, and then Chuck Taylor comes out to save Orange Cassidy. Probably the worst example of what a pro wrestler is. I mean, honestly, this guy just is not credible at all. Big dude, but he really doesn't look intimidating at all. His wrestling is extremely sloppy. And I mean, I really don't see any redeeming factor to him. It's not like I could do a better job at it, but guess what? I'm not a pro wrestler. I'm just a fan. He is. He's supposed to make me believe. And if he can't make me believe, guess what? I ain't watching him. So, next thing, then we had Swerve Strickland, the AEW champion, go against Kyle Fletcher, one of the newer guys. I think he's a ROH TV champion. Cool match, interesting. My only concern with it was, well, there are two concerns. One, that why did this guy get a championship match? Like, I have no idea. What did he do? Did he actually do anything to deserve an AEW championship match? It seems like anybody could just randomly challenge, hey, here's for the title. It almost seems like in WWE when we had Seth Rollins as champion. Yes, you want a workhorse champion, but come on. Have it be at least like Gunther, where you have to at least earn a little bit. Earn something. Or for example, let's say in Gunther's case where they had Chad Gable, he was supposed to, everybody thought he was going to job out to Gunther, but he didn't. And that's how you start a story. But with this guy, Kyle Fletcher, he was just there. Like, yeah, I'm just going to challenge you, and you get a challenge. And Don Callis at least tried to explain it, saying that He was the one that booked the biggest match in New Japan history, which was Kenny Omega against Chris Jericho, and that he cashed in. So I'm like, okay, interesting. Why is this? Oh no, actually no. I think that was for the Hobbs match. But still, I mean, it was kind of terrible, in my opinion. But like I said, it was a decent match. Obviously, Swerve won, and we move along. So we had Mira Shirakawa with Mariah May versus Anna Jay. This I've never seen Shirakawa before, but she seems very animated. She has a lot of personality, especially for being from Japan. Normally, we don't see people like that much, that animated. She reminds me kind of I guess a happier version of Asuka, I guess. If you're gonna try to draw a comparison of sorts. But I mean, it was a good match. Anna Jay, she still looks very green. She still looks very hesitant in the ring. I'm not sure if it was necessarily the language barrier or what it was, but she's still kind of getting there. Hopefully, with a few more reps, maybe a year or two, she might be able to develop into something. But the way it's going, I don't see her being that person in the women's division. Maybe a TBS champion at some point, but I don't really see her getting to the mountaintop. Then afterwards, after the match, they start attacking. Anna Jay starts attacking Mariah May and Mina. Then Toni Storm shows up because she's their buddy, and right afterwards, you have Serena Deeb show up. To the she went to the stairs and looked at the championship, and she's talking into the camera. The problem was the sound in AEW, especially for the first half of the show, was terrible. It seems like they were just getting the sound directly from the stadium, and there was echo like crazy. You could barely understand anything of what they were trying to say. Even during the promos, they had a mic. It sounded really, really bad. Hopefully it was a technical issue. It wasn't necessarily something that was planned. Because if it was planned, they got to fix it right now. So Serena Deeb returned. She's obviously extremely credible, great in the ring, and she wants a shot at Toni Storm's title, which it wouldn't shock me if she's going to be the one facing her at All In. Then we had a Willow Nightingale having her celebration for winning the TBS Championship. Where she had Stokely and Chris Statlander there. Sorry, guys, I'm not extremely super familiar with all of the names. All of a sudden, it's a lot of wrestling, a lot of people. But anyways, they're talking about her winning, blah blah blah. Great job to Willow. Everybody was happy. Then Mercedes Mone shows up, the CEO, which I'm still trying to figure out why they're calling her the CEO. I guess it's trying to say like EST or CEO. I don't know. To me, it looks kind of weird. And then she comes out, and honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but she almost seems like a shell of herself. She doesn't seem to be that same person. She's not Sasha Banks. This is kind of like a watered down version of what Sasha Banks used to be. Like, she doesn't have that same attitude. She doesn't exude that same competence. Like, the boss was better than the CEO. I don't know if it's just going to take them a little bit of time for her to get used to the new environment, the new fighting style, or what it is, but to me, it's not really working. I really haven't enjoyed her character so far. Hopefully she's able to turn it around, make it into a thing, because she's great in the ring and she can cut halfway decent promos. But now, I don't know, it seems like she's lost. Like, she almost has no direction. And maybe it is one of those things with AEW that there is no real direction. Everybody kind of has their own creative liberty, so she can do whatever she wants, but she really doesn't know where to go. So, hopefully they're able to fix that. And it seems like she's on a collision course with Willow Nightingale to face each other at Double or Nothing. Chris Jericho cuts a promo about winning the FTR Championship from Hook last Sunday on Dynasty. He's going about he's the learning tree, blah, blah, blah. So that's his new character. He's going to be kind of an older veteran where people go and learn stuff from him. And that's okay, but Chris Jericho's getting kind of long in the tooth. it's almost time for him to at least go away for a while, at least for a good 6-7 months, and then maybe show up with a different character. But he's literally turning into Hogan, into the same thing that he despised when he was in WCW. So then Big Bill shows up with the most robotic promo I've seen in a while, where he's like, "Hi, I'm Big Bill." I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? The only thing that could have saved that is if Enzo would have come up out of nowhere under the ring or something and just popped up there and started doing, "Hey, what you doing?" Like doing his whole spiel. Because I don't think it really worked. I honestly did not like it at all. Like, yes, Bill is a really imposing guy and everything, but his promo skills are not really good. In fact, having Jericho that is a master on the mic, they should have just had Bill say one or two things and that's it. Not talk that much. But, it is what it is. So then he wants to join Chris Jericho in his learning tree. Go figure. All right, so then we had Jon Moxley defending his IWGP Championship, the one from New Japan, against Will Hobbs, which, and again, same thing as with the Swerve match. I'm not sure why Hobbs got a championship match against Jon Moxley, especially for the New Japan Championship, because Will Hobbs is not in New Japan, and I know they have their history together, but why is Will Hobbs going against Jon Moxley? What did he do to earn that shot? That's the part that I don't understand. Yes, he did attack the whatever club that they have. Yeah, he did attack, I think it was Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Fine, he attacked him, but that doesn't give him the right to get a championship match. I can understand just a match to avenge his buddies, but not a match for the championship. Like, why would he even put his championship on the lines, especially against a guy like Hobbs, which honestly I think has a lot of future, has a bright future. He looks ridiculously credible. The guy looks like a beast. He looks like a mean version of Biggie. Like if Biggie like a Biggie Lance. Well, he used to be a Biggie Lance. If Big E was a mean guy, it would be Will Hobbs. Like, this guy is incredibly scary. So I think it would have made sense for them to have a match, but not for the championship. At least not yet. So, but okay, cool. They have the match. Now the match was going okay. Except I think that Will Hobbs may have injured his knee against the ropes or something, because he was hobbling all around. And it gave me the impression that they cut the match short. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it was just part of the match. But it did look a little scary. Because I know Moxley went for they call it the Midnight Rider or whatever they call it now. He changed the name of his finisher a couple of times. And then forgot the other move. Then he goes for the win. I think he choked him out, which is fine. Halfway decent match, but it seemed like it was rushed. But yeah, so that was actually that was basically it for that match. Oh, by the way, Moxley didn't bleed, which I was shocked by. Then we had to end the night, we had Tony Schiavone call Jack Perry to the ring to cut one of his eloquent promos with his great expressions, his Oscar-winning expressions. Now, just another Jack Perry. He's talking about, oh yeah, the scapegoat, blah blah blah. People are singing like "Cry Me a River," basically towards CM Punk. Whatever. Honestly, I will give AEW a little bit of credit, because it doesn't seem like they stumbled upon something with the whole footage thing, because it did give him a little bit more exposure, and it was almost like what Bob Ross would have said, a happy accident. I don't think they were planning on this. If they were planning for this, hey, they deserve a lot more respect than I thought. But then you have Jack Perry over there. Then he calls out Tony Khan, and they embrace. He gives him a hug, whatever. Then he looks straight at the camera while he's hugging Tony Khan, and then he hits him. And then the Young Bucks come out with Okada. They're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And then they go and hit Tony Khan with the Tony Khan driver. So it's just kind of like a modified. There's like I think it's a 720 or whatever it is into a tombstone pile driver by the other guy. And then you have a couple of the referees show up, like probably like 10 seconds later. Then we have like probably, I don't know, took them at least like 30 or 45 seconds for some of the locker room to show up, some of the wrestlers to show up and try to stop the Young Bucks Okada and Jack Perry from attacking Tony Khan. Why did it take him so damn long to make it to the ring? Like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be literally the owner of your company. You're gonna let these guys just beat him up. He's there laying on the floor, and you're gonna take your sweet ass time and not care. Even the baby faces, I could understand the heels not showing up, but the baby faces, like, nah. And then you had like second rate baby faces show up. It wasn't even like the main guys. It was like the random guys that are on that used to be like on AEW Dark and stuff like that, which is fine, which I'm okay with. But come on, guys, like, show up, like, make it to the ring quicker. Like, you're really not saving him from anything. The damage is already done. Why did you show up now? It's almost like the police in every 80s movie. Every 80s action movie, you had the police show up after everything happened. And now you have the wrestlers with their sweet ass time to show up, and oh my God, what happened? Even Shad Khan, Tony Khan's dad, was there. I don't know if he was mad because he was faking that he was mad, like part of the show, if he was genuinely concerned for his son, or if he was just mad because he's like, oh my God, this is where all my money's going into. My money's getting pissed away. No, but I know it's probably more than likely it's the show, but I still thought it was a little awkward, ending to that show. But anyways, all in all, I would say the show was too busy for me. Oh, the one thing is I forgot about that. What is it that they call it? Oh, the Double or Nothing Gauntlet match. The only thing I really have to say about it is that it just set up Will Ospreay to face Roderick Strong for the I think it's the International Championship. They have, I think it's like they have like 10 belts anyways, which should be a good match. Storyline, I don't know where the story is, but whatever. They have a few weeks to kind of flesh it out. Hopefully they do. But that match was extremely confusing. It was super chaotic. I have no idea what they were trying to do. The rules, it gave me the impression of like a TNA match when I think it was the King of the Mountain or something like that. That there was like different rules and different things that you had to do to be able to win. This is what it seemed like. Interesting concept though. I enjoyed it, but it was a car wreck. I have no idea who's winning. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Then so-and-so just randomly pops up, jumps from the third rope. So-and-so goes through a table and all this extra stuff. And I was honestly a little lost with that. They should have just slowed it down a bit. Give it a little bit more context. Tell a story in the ring. Because even in the Royal Rumble, you can tell a story. Granted, they're having some terrible Royal Rumbles too. So this is the first time they've ever done this match. Let's see. Hopefully they improve it in the future, because the concept is interesting, but it is a little wonky, a little confusing. But anyways, that was basically it to end the night, where you had all the baby faces, or some of the baby faces, try to help Tony Khan at the very end, and fade to black. So all in all, I'll give it wasn't as good as last week's show. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5, not even a full 5, because like I said, it was a little weird. Plus the sound issues really bothered me. They really bothered me. Like I said, I think last week's show was much better. Granted, it was the go home episode to one of their bigger pay-per-views, and this week it almost seems like they're starting to build towards All In. So I'll give them a little bit of a pass there, but I'll still say it's a 4.5 on a good day. So all right, guys. So just remember to like and subscribe. Peace.